Hello everyone, so next week is Thanksgiving. Welcome back to Warehouse and Operations as a Career. I'm Marty and I appreciate you stopping by again this week, visiting with us. So I have a quick question. Are you already seeing or maybe even experiencing those holiday frustrations? Every year about this time I notice how the mood kind of changes out there on the docks. And this year, I'm sensing new or added worries regarding our family gatherings, or lack thereof, being on people's minds. I always try and coach my associates to be a little more understanding of our work partners this time of year. I believe it's important to remember we could have it a little bit better than some out there. Take our over-the-road driver friends. They are out on the road dealing with things like weather issues. And think what it's like driving in town with all the people on the roads. Maybe shopping or getting together or basically just causing unnecessary traffic with his or her routes. And then add in that the dispatcher may have, we'll say misled the driver to believe that they had a 6 a.m. appointment, when their appointment is actually at noon. Meaning they'll be out of hours and have to reset somewhere before they can head back towards home for the holidays. Or even worse, there's an issue with our systems. Maybe we're out of slots. The building is full and we're having to make replenishments before we can run their labels. Come on. You're experiencing that about now, right? Things happen. I heard one facility running out of pallets this week. So they were sending everyone down the aisles to grab anything that was empty just so they could get in as many loads as they could. And you know, this time of year, people can be emotional, maybe more like stressed. I guess maybe both, or maybe even a little bit more. My point being, we need to recognize this time of year and help each other in this business. I don't want to push someone into losing their job, and I certainly don't want to let my quick temper or false feelings of justice to cost me mine either. I mentioned drivers a little bit ago. I can't imagine the patience that, they have to demonstrate this time of year. Sometimes we take that driving job for granted, I think. Yeah, all of us. I know, I've done more than one driver wrong in my career. You know, I was at a production facility last week and was kind of watching a driver get her door. She got docked and came up the walk ramp to the little caged area where all the drivers have to sign in, answered a few health questions, and got their temperature checked. You know what I'm talking about, the times that we're living in for now. Well, after all that was done, she was left alone, standing in a large caged area. She could see her door with the load that she needed to be unloading, and nobody was helping her get to it. Now, this wasn't my facility, but even I was embarrassed for them. There were 2 supervisors, a lead person, 4 receivers on the dock. Well, only 2 really was on that end of the dock, and like 3 forklift drivers, and at least 3 of the company's unloaders working within 20 yards of that little cage gate. I tell you, I had to admire her patience. A lesser person may have already gone off on somebody. I was able to flag down the lead, and he went over there to help her. I guess she was watching me trying to help her from afar, and she thanked me with a little fist bump as she was being led to her trailer. You know, and then when I left that facility on my drive back to my building, I saw a big rig pulled over to the side with a blown-out tire on his or her inside rear wheel. I'm not sure why they had to pull over. Maybe something else was wrong as well, but I thought to myself, I hope this doesn't cost them a load or a ride back towards the house this weekend. And you know, one of the agencies that I work with has experienced a huge issue with ghosting over the last 2 weeks. Applicants make appointments for interviews and just don't show up, or even worse, they accept a position and don't bother calling or coming in on their first day. I was speaking with a recruiter about it. He mentioned it's like this every year around the holidays. He felt like it's a hard time to start a job. And it kind of makes sense. Family, may be coming in. The children are already getting excited. It's the holidays. And he believes it's just hard for an out-of-work individual to start this month or even next month. I just don't see it that way, really. Kind of a quick side note. I started my career with the company I retired from on November 11th. Anyhow, all that kind of got me to wondering, what the supervisors were seeing out there, so I took a little phone poll. I spoke with 7 supervisors or leads. Over the last 2 weeks, they had experienced 7 voluntary resignations and 16 involuntary releases. All in, I was told that 5 people had been released because they would not consistently wear their required PPEs. 7 associates had what was described as habitual attendance opportunities. 2 people that couldn't get to work on time, and 3 people were released for performance or productivity issues. Now, I guess all 16 could have corrected their actions. Everyone released was given their company's corrective action or written warning program, or the steps needed to help the associate fix their performance, but really? So many not wearing their PPEs, and then all of those with time clock issues? That accounted for 14 of the 16 people that lost their jobs. Let's let that sink in for just a minute. Oh, and I'll add this really quick since we're talking about being on time and showing up for our shift. I know of this one company that has offered an attendance bonus before that worked off of a case and pallet formula. Basically, as long as you were punched in at least 8 minutes, within your start time or your 4 a.m. start time, and came to work all 5 days, Monday through Friday, you were eligible for and awarded the bonus. Now, with the average case and pallet counts each day, you could earn between $60 to $80 a week. That's $1.50 to $2 an hour, or $3,120 to $4,160 a year for just going to work on time. And you know what? The program consistently had under 25% participation. Okay, so back to the time of year, the holidays. For some of us, our business may be dropping off around this time of year. For others, it could be our busiest 2 or 3 months. Either way, it can be stressful, right? I had this boss. He was actually a great coach and a counselor, a mentor, I guess, that I really looked up to. Tell me during an encounter one day, just before Thanksgiving, that I'd be wise to stay out of his sight until after budget time. That was in January. And I don't think he saw me more than 10 times for those 2 months. Where my job's concerned, I don't have to be told twice. Now, what I'm really talking about today sounds kind of corny when I'm thinking it, but I do think we should help each other out over the next 2 months. We have a lot going on here in the States right now. An unsettled election, a pandemic many of us are being affected over, a drop in business, or worse, maybe we're worried about layoffs, or we're out of work right now. We all have a full plate outside of work too, and we may be stressed about work. I assure you it is going to be okay. It is going to be what it is. We will go over any wall that we need to, and if we can't go over it, we'll go around it, or maybe even through it. It's not going to hurt us to carry a friend or teammate with us along the way. If we're helpful, positive, and productive, others can be too. I'd like us all to really think about that. Okay, Team WAOC, we're wrapping up week 47. Can you believe it? We have 6 weeks left in 2020. Have we all reconciled with our accomplishments this year or our fourth quarter goals? I've kind of accepted the ones that I missed this year, and that's okay. Some of the things that came up were honestly out of my control. The ones that weren't, well, I learned from those failures. I'm feeling good with the outcome. I've already started working on my 2021 plans, and I can tell you that I'm being pretty aggressive with them. I am going to own the first and second quarters right out of the gate next year. I'm going to pick a dollar figure that I'm going to earn next year, and I am going to achieve it. Go ahead and start your plan and get those goals set, because we're all going to increase our W-2 earnings next year, right? Well, I think we're all off to a great start with our planning. Let's all help our teammates over the next 6 weeks cross that finish line together and prepare to own the new first and second quarter of 2021. Until next week, stay calm, focus on the objective, stay healthy, and above all, be safe out there.